So yeah, I already did a review on the original, so now here I am talking about the live action Beauty and the Beast. And just to start off this review, every movie has its good and its bad, so let me start off with the good. This movie was nicely shot. There was a lot of scenes up in there where I'm just like, yo, this is a good shot. That was a good shot. That was a good shot. It had good cinematography. Everything about it was just, it looks good. The tone was good. Everything flowed in together, and I liked just the overall look of the movie. And just the acting was good. I mean, just thinking back all the way to like months prior, when we first heard this person gonna be in this movie, that person gonna be in this movie, and we got like all the news of who was joining the cast for Beauty and the Beast, and we were looking like, yo, this is shaping up to be a good movie. It ended up having some of the best performances in there. Like Emma Watson, she did good as Belle. The guy who did the Beast, I don't know his name, but he did good. But the one standout performance in this movie was Luke Evans as Gaston. Like, he did an amazing job in this movie, and I was just kind of like, I was liking his character. Like, I actually like this Gaston more than the animated film. And then you got Afu, the character, he was gay. I thought it was going to be annoying. I thought it was going to be a nuisance. I thought it was just like, oh shit, he's going to be comic relief, blah, blah, get him off screen. But I actually really enjoyed him. I actually wanted to see more of his character because he was both funny and he was just a likable character. I was just surprised by that. And just everybody else that was in this movie did a good job with bringing these characters to life. I really enjoyed it. And along with that, like, it had good humor in it. Like, all through the movie, I mean, Afu was a big main component in the humor, but then there's humor with Belle and just with all the characters that were inside the castle. Like, there is a lot of humor in there that I really didn't expect too much, but I really enjoyed it. And the CG worked for the most part. It had a lot of good scenes where the CG works, even just the green screen and everything kind of blended together. One of the things I could say that the practical sets and stuff, they were real blatant that they were sets. You could tell that they wasn't outside, that they were in the studio. But this movie is more of a musical, and it's in a play type form. So I kind of looked at it like that. It's like a play. So, I mean, I guess in a sense you can kind of forgive that, which I kind of did. So, yeah. And of course, the music was good. Emma Watson, everybody up in there did a great job remaking these songs, and I didn't have no problem with that. And one of the things I noticed going back looking at the old one and viewing this one was that it had more character development. Like, watching the old one, it really didn't have that. You had a straightforward villain. You had a straightforward good girl, good guy, whatever. And everything was just straightforward. And it really didn't have time to do character development because the movie was a certain length. So we really can't touch on certain things. And this movie was longer, so it gave the writers enough time to develop backstory for Belle, the backstory for Gaston and the Beast and all that stuff. And I really like that because it's like, okay, we found out more about Belle in this movie than we did in the animated film. We found out more about Gaston in this movie than we did up in the animated film. As well as it gave more character to these characters. Gaston, I mentioned before, he's more of a character in this. In that old one, he was just a plain villain. You could tell that he was a villain from the beginning all the way to the end. In this one, Gaston, he was just more of a conceited person who was all about himself and all about just wanting to be with Belle because he wanted to make himself look better, I guess, or whatever. But you see that he had more character. Like, he's sitting there, he's sad at a certain point, he's mad at a certain point, he's happy at a certain point. It's like you see that he is just this complex character rather than just being a straightforward villain. They did such a good job with the character development, and that was one of the big things that I've noticed about this movie, and I really liked it. But also, there is some bad things about it. I did mention that the CG was good and I really liked it. But one of the things that really stood out to me was the Beast. The Beast, in the dark, in the shadows and stuff, like, the CG looks good or whatever. But as you see him walking in the daytime next to Belle, next to a live person, it really stands out of just how kind of off the CG is. I mean, coming straight off of the Jungle Book last year and what they did with their technology against a human and actually make it still look real enough to where you had to question, is this real or isn't it? It's like looking at this movie, it's like, yo, they didn't implement a lot of that technology in this movie because the Beast really stood out, you know, as being, you know, a CG character. And it was okay, but I thought that, you know, I thought it was going to look a little bit better, but it didn't. And there is a part of this movie where, I don't know if you can count this as a spoiler, so fast forward a little bit if you think it is, but in the animated film, you know, the father gets attacked by wolves and Belle gets attacked by wolves and then the Beast has to save her. That happened in this movie, but there are scenes through this movie where they're going back and forth throughout the woods, but yet they don't get confronted by the wolves. And it's like, you had trouble with them before, but you going back and forth, and you don't get any trouble with the wolves there. It's just like I don't know. It just, with this movie, it didn't work because it was like, if you're going to go back and forth, how come you're not having trouble all the time? And they're there, so I mean, I don't know. I guess it's more of a nitpick, but that was just something that stood out to me. As well as the songs can get a little jarring. I mean, this movie is a little bit longer, but it was like song after song after song after song. After a while, it's like, come on, I just want to watch a lot of the movie. Like, I don't need to hear song after song after song. And I guess the animated film was like that as well, but in this movie, it just stood out. It just being really jarring. After a while, I'm like, oh, I'm so over the songs. Even though I did enjoy them, it was just like, come on, like, you know, it is what it is. But overall, I really enjoyed this film. With an 8 out of 10. This movie had its flaws or whatever. It really didn't give me that nostalgia like I wanted it, and I'm not flawing it for that. But, I thought it was okay. It's worth checking out. It's worth taking your kids to go see. And yeah, I mean, I hope it does good at the box office because it was a really, really good film and I highly enjoyed it and I highly recommend you guys go check it out at least one time. Like I said, this concludes my Take One movie review of the 2017 remake of the Disney classic Beauty and the Beast. Go ahead and like this, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and everything else is down there in the description below for my social media and then my other links to my movie reviews, podcasts, and all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.